All right, and with that, good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Prepare for Impact Member Engagement Strategies, Recruitment and Retention. My name again is Brian Munson. I am the Business Development and .coop Sales Manager for NCBA CLUSA, and I will be your webinar moderator today. The webinar is co-hosted by the Veterinary Cooperative. They are a member of NCBA CLUSA, and we're very happy to have them with us talking about this very important issue today. Just a little bit of background on this, this series. Prepare for Impact is an exclusive webinar series that will explore key issues that really shape our 2017 Co-op Impact Conference. This is a brand new conference where we're bringing several events together. It will be held October 4th through the 6th in Alexandria, Virginia. If you're able to join us, we'd love to have you there. You know, given the important role that membership obviously plays in the co-op economy and co-ops themselves, we wanted to make sure that we had this discussion about recruitment and retention and, have an opportunity to open it up to our members through this format. So purchasing co-ops in particular will focus on this topic during their masterclass workshops at the Impact Conference, which is another great reason why we have the Veterinary Cooperative joining us today. The Prepare for Impact webinar series will also focus on some other topics in the coming months, like marketing the co-op identity, membership, technology, and other key issues. So we do look forward to you joining us for those. Before we begin, just a quick bit of housekeeping. Your phone lines are muted today to reduce background noise. If you would like to pose a question, you can obviously do that, just not verbally. So you have a question box on your GoToWebinar control panel. It's typically on the right side of your screen. We'll collect those questions, and our panelists today will answer those as time allows at the end of the program. Finally, NCBA is recording this program, so eventually it will be archived on our website. You will, however, receive an email containing a link to the posted recording tomorrow, so feel free to listen to it again to catch up, take notes, pass it along to colleagues, anybody that you think would find value in it. Please feel free to share it. So your panelist today is Allison Morris. She is the VP of Member Experience at the Veterinary Cooperative. Allison is going to just tell you a little bit about herself and TVC, as they go by for short. So with that said, I'm going to turn this webinar over to you, Allison, and we can get started.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you everyone for being here today. I'm excited to share what TVC has put together to hopefully inspire some new things you can take to your own cooperatives. So first, I would like to share a little bit a confidentiality statement and then a little bit about what TVC is doing. The information I'm sharing with you today is confidential information. I don't believe anybody on this call is from the veterinary industry, but if so, I would kindly ask you to leave the call just because it would be inappropriate for me to share this industry information with you. And if you do have any questions about that, if you are in that situation, certainly reach out to me after the call here today, and I'd be happy to talk to you one-on-one. In that same genre, please do not take screenshots of the meeting today. If you do want to go over the information with you in more detail or anyone in your cooperative, I would be happy to set up a one-on-one call to share this information again. All right, so a little bit about TVC. We were founded in September of 2012, and that is when I started helping the cooperative grow part-time, and I quickly became a full-time employee soon after that. We started with 4 independently owned veterinary hospitals who helped get TVC off the ground, and today we have over 249 member owners. And TVC has our member partners as basically one member can have multiple locations, whereas in some other types of co-ops or buying groups, each member is their own individual location. So we have probably closer to 2,300 locations across the country or nationwide. Just to give you an idea of how we've grown, at the end of 2013, members spent about $11 million through our vendor partners. And at the end of 2017, we have a projected spend of about $165 million. So it's certainly grown a lot in the last 5 years. We are also projecting to grow upwards of 1,000 members in 2017, which we were not expecting at the beginning of the year, but due to a partnership with another cooperative and a great partnership with one of our distributor partners, we're really pushing the envelope on new member acquisition. So how do we advertise to our new TVC members? This is a fun little skit we like to show our new member partners, showing that it's difficult to compete as a small fish in the industry. And so if we all group together, we're able to level the playing field for independently owned veterinary hospitals to help them compete with those big corporate organizations. And the veterinarians certainly seem to like our fish theme, partly because it has to do with animals and partly because it's different from all the other cats and dogs advertisements they usually see. So when we describe TVC to our potential members, we like to point out that we are a cooperative and not a GPO. We have quite a few GPOs in the industry, and they have a lot of great benefits, but it's becoming a bit of a scamper to gain members right now. So it's a bit of a battle, and we like to point out to members considering a GPO versus TVC that if they join TVC, they're owned by us, which means that all of the profits go back to them at the end of the year versus a GPO, you know, the high up owners get to pocket that money. We are in business to make money for the clinics, not TVC. And we also let them know that they can buy what they want from who they want. This is important because a lot of the veterinarians, and this may be different in your cooperatives or you may feel similar, but a lot of the veterinarians went into business not to have their own business to create profit, but to have their own business to help animals. So they're a little behind or not as interested in the business aspect. So we like them to feel like they're completely independent and can still do what they want, and then guide them towards these great business practices through carrots rather than sticks. So for TVC member participation, we have an average of a 60% spend of TVC members spending through our vendor partnerships. And we want to help you understand how we create this stickiness. So we think that getting our members onto our website is very important. As you saw, we have about 2,300 locations throughout the nation, and we have currently about 9 staff members, hopefully to grow soon. But we really have only right now one dedicated staff person to reach out to these 2,300 clinics to make sure that they're utilizing TVC in the best way. So the best communication we have due to this massive undertaking is to communicate by email. And in our emails, we really try to entice them to come up onto our website. The website has so much wonderful information, and I'm going to show that to you today so you can see if you can utilize something similar to communicate to your members. So just to give you an idea, we have a 77% average open rate on our emails, and this is an example of some of the statistics from our email performance in April. This is an example of one of our TVC weekly emails that goes out. So one thing we've started doing this year is having a spotlight vendor or vendors of the month that go around a theme. So in the month you see here, it was a diagnostics and testing month. So we have a few diagnostic vendors we're referencing, and then we have a few vendors were listing who actually helped create solutions for any issues through that reference lab testing. And this really helps us promote our vendors and create a focus for our emails and for our months. One thing that is huge as well in the veterinary industry, and I'm not sure if it's as big in other industries, though I'm sure any medical industry it's big, is continuing education. It's a very important item that veterinarians and technicians have to keep up on every year. It generally costs money to have these CE courses. So TVC actually partners with our vendors to offer free CE courses at least once a month for our veterinary partners. So this is an example of a Purina pet food CE course, and then here's an example of a Royal Canin one. And again, we put these in our weekly emails to get them up on the website, checking things out, signing up for webinars. These are some promotions as we scroll through that were going on that month. So we show all the current promotions, and these are above and beyond the normal rebate and discount programs we have. And lastly, the Hive, I'll show you a little bit more about later, but basically it's an online member forum, so our 2,300 clinics have a way of communicating together, even talking about the confidential information. And we post a question of the week. And this week we were just announcing that we have a job posting section on our website. So anybody looking for jobs or looking to hire can use that part of the Hive. So now I'm going to hop up onto the TVC website. Here we go. So this is what it looks like when you come to our home page. Our members will log in here. And you can log in here. So the reason why I'm showing this to you today is hopefully you'll be inspired by some of our organization and methods so you can implement that into your clinic. And like I said, if you want to talk one-on-one on how to create this for your own hospital, I am more than happy to talk to you about it. But I'm going to give you a tour right now. Excuse me. So one thing we really enjoy in the co-op to help create this stickiness and member involvement is our opt-in page. So this purple button right here, whenever a new member joins the cooperative, excuse me, we ask them to, these vendors listed here are some of our largest vendors, the ones that we make the most money with and the ones that our members spend the most money with. So they're very important vendors to pay attention to. So many of these vendors have asked that we collect their account numbers for the vendor, in which we send to the vendors on a monthly basis at the beginning of each month. So when a clinic signs up for TVC, they'll see their hospital name listed above. If they have multiple clinics under one membership, they'll see, you know, as many columns as they have locations. And then to enter an account number, let's pretend they had animal reference lab pathology as something they wanted to sign up for. They would just type in the test name there and click save, and it would upload right into our database. And I'm going to show you our database later, but these two, the database and our website are very connected to make it easy for the member. Once they do that, they're set up for the program. And it also helps them understand what the big vendors are that they have to get involved with if they want to. So also on our home page, every quarter we put up a message called Switch, which is effective and profitable. So Putney, Decra, these two companies just combined. We used to have a program with them, and when they combined, they decided to remove themselves from all buying groups. So when something like this happens, or if there is a vendor partner out there that we do not have that's very popular, though we have competitive, just as popular partners, we like to point out to members who are using the vendor partners we do not have and give them suggestions for items they can get through the veterinary cooperative. So for example here, carprofen, that is like an ibuprofen. So if they were using this Putney product, which we no longer have, they can try this Bayer or Vetiquinol product, and they can get a 20% rebate or discount, or an 18 to 23% rebate or discount on it. And we also say, you know, it's for pain or whatnot, just in case they weren't familiar. So we try to make it as easy as possible for members to understand how to switch to TVC vendors so they can gain as many rebates, discounts as possible, and also help support the cooperative community. And I'll show you a little bit more where we post more switch vendors later in our tour today. So another great feature of this website is our current promotions page. So as I showed you in the email, we do show current promotions on our weekly email, but we also have this page that we keep up to date with all of the promotions going on in our vendor base that are above and beyond what they can get regularly. So there are always tons of promotions, really exciting stuff. Sometimes they can win trips or free expense to a trade show, things like that. So we love to promote these. And again, this makes them want to come up on our website, because why wouldn't they want to check out the current promotions going on vendors that they currently use? Another great thing on our website is we always have these promotions scrolling in different areas. So not only are they on the promo page, but they're scrolling here at the top of this page. Later we'll get into the rebates and discounts section. They're scrolling on this page as well. So TVC Magazine is another wonderful feature that TVC has put together. So we've found in some of the vendor relationships we've partnered with, they give us wonderful marketing funds to help promote their programs to our membership. And we found that sometimes we have to get creative in how we use those, because we're not able to use them in any way we want. So we've come up with this TVC Magazine. We've partnered with one of the veterinary publications in the industry who help us put it together, so it doesn't take a ton of staff time, but it looks extremely professional, and it's such a great resource to our members. So this gets emailed out to our members once a month. It always features a member of the cooperative who's doing a best practice. So this is Dr. Jen, and she does a lot of great dentistry in the industry. So she shares her thoughts there on her best practice. We also are able to have our vendor partners purchase ads for these magazines to continue to help fund the magazine. And we also have a sponsor of the month who gets quite a few ads, and they also get their logo on the front cover of our magazine. And I am going to go back here to the home page. And another item that a lot of cooperatives do is when they have leftover profits at the end of the year, they distribute that to the co-op members. That's one feature of being a cooperative. TVC has found our own strategy to do so. So we call it the participation rebate. So I'm going to click open the 2017 participation rebate here to show you how it works. We've tweaked it over time, and this is how it works currently. Any member who reaches a score of 21 points and above gets to share an equal piece of the profit left over at the end of the year. And just to give you an idea, these numbers may be different to what you're used to in your cooperative, but TVC had about $600,000 of profit left over at the end of 2016. It went to about 500 of our 1,500 members at the time, and those members got an extra rebate of about $1,200. To some of the large co-ops out there listening, that might not seem like a lot of money to you, but a lot of these veterinary hospitals, as I said, struggle with the business side of things. They struggle to make profit. So when they see that extra $1,200 bonus check, they really light up, and they really see the value in us on top of the regular rebates and discounts they get. So how we score this is we, again, our hospitals range anywhere from a 1-doctor mobile practice who doesn't purchase a ton of inventory for their mobile practice to an 8-doctor practice, or a member who even owns 8 different hospitals. So we wanted to try to make it this program motivating to all. So what we've done is we have allocated 1 point to every single vendor partner we have. Now it doesn't matter if they spend 1 penny with this vendor partner during the year, or $100,000 or $1 million, they're going to get 1 point as long as they're being properly set up and tracked through TVC for these purchases. So we think it's also a really motivating way for them to hopefully try a few new vendor partners that they didn't use before or didn't know about, because they're going to get these extra points by using them, and hopefully bring more business to the cooperative because they like the partner that they tried. Another way we're able to use these points to our advantage is a lot of our vendors give us certain group growth goals. And when we hit those group growth goals, we get additional rebates to give back to the membership, or even sometimes additional funds that come back to the marketing funds that we can use to utilize things like the TBC magazine or promotions for the members. So in order to help us hit that, we've also allocated points to help us reach those goals. So for example, Bayer Seresto is a flea and tick collar that dogs can wear to make sure the fleas and ticks aren't getting them. So we do have some high goals to hit with Seresto collars. So we've allocated 1 point toward any member who purchases $1,000 worth of Seresto in the year. And how our point structure works is they can purchase $5,000 if they want, but they're still only going to get that 1 point, again, to try to keep it motivating for all. So we've really enjoyed the process of pulling this program together throughout the last few years, and we hope it'll increase our sales and the members' participation with our different vendors. And now I am going to show you the Hive. So the Hive I talked a little bit about earlier. It's really just an online forum where all of our members can talk to each other. So I showed you that question of the week. So we post it here, and then the members are able to come view, reply, and chat about that question of the week, or they can use the other areas of our forum, such as job postings. We recently made a section for mobile veterinarians, again, just to create a community within the community we already have. It's a little hard when you're virtual throughout the United States to feel a community between 2,300 people. So we keep trying to do things to create that sense of community and just a one-stop shop of features to have the veterinarians come to us whenever they need help or whenever they're looking to purchase something. TBC University, this is also a really exciting feature. We are right now getting RACE approval for a number of business education courses in the veterinary industry. And once we get that RACE approval, we'll be able to distribute continuing education credits for free for our membership. So again, this is another way they can get free CE credits to remain veterinarians and technicians, and allow them to see TBC as this wonderful resource. And that is coming in Q3 this year. So now I'm going to take you into kind of the meat of our website, which are the rebates and discounts. So again, you can see this nice scrolling feature here at the top showing some of our promotions. And if we scroll down here, there's 2 different ways our member partners can see all the vendors we work with. We list them alphabetically here, so you can click on A's, B's, C's, and see the full list this way. Or if you're looking for something in specific, you can type it here. So for example, somebody looking for a rental car, they type in car and Avis pops up. If they're looking for pet food, they can type in pet food and our 3 partners come up. Or if they're looking for Hills pet food, just the Hills comes up. So there's quite a few ways members can search for what they're looking for. I'm going to come up with something completely random. Let's pretend they're looking for a hot air balloon. That is something we do not have. So if it's something we don't have, we have a really quick little forum here where if they fill out this little form, it emails me and a few of my other team members showing the item that this member was looking for. So we can email them back saying, oh, that's a great idea. We should look into getting that vendor on board. Or actually, we do have this product you were looking for. We just didn't tag it properly, or whatever the answer is. It lets them have an outlet for letting us know if we don't have something, and if we get enough people telling us we're missing something and it's all the same, we know that's a vendor we want to go after right away. So I'm going to open up one of our programs here. I don't know if you're all familiar with Bayer. They're both in the animal and human industry, making different kinds of pharmaceuticals. So if when members log into our pages here, we call this the landing page. So the purchase information is the first spot we let them know to look at. It has basically the who, what, where, why, when, as short as possible. So you can see they can get a 5 or 10% discount and up to a 12% rebate. It shows where they have to purchase from. Sometimes it's through any authorized distributor, sometimes it's direct, sometimes it's through one of our main distributor partners. We always try to make it flow through our distributor partners when possible. It shows them they have to opt in, and I showed you that opt-in page, but here's a quick link over here to that opt-in page. It shows when the pricing takes effect. Unfortunately, not every deal takes effect the day they sign up. We always have contact information for that company if they're looking to speak with somebody about those products in particular. And if we scroll down, we show promotions, detailers, more information. The vendors can really post here any which way they want. We just help facilitate that process, and later I'll be showing you how easy it is for TBC staff to help create these pages. And lastly, down here, we have a bunch of webinars. These are webinars we've done in the past with our vendor partners, and anytime we have one, we post it to the relevant page. Lastly, if you're looking to see the details of the program, we have two ways to get there, this details button or see the rebate or discount, and this brings up the details of the program so they can see exactly how to get the discount, what it's on, exactly how to get the rebate, what it's on, and here's a list of discounted products. So that is the gist of how our members check out our rebate programs. One other item I wanted to show you on this rebates and discounts page is if they were looking for a vendor that we didn't have, but we know it's a huge vendor in the industry and we have competitors to it. So I typed in Merck. They're another pharmaceutical vaccine company. So if you click on Merck, well, first of all, some of their competitors pop up, so we try to steer them towards the competitors that way. If they click on Merck thinking it is still a deal that we have, and they click open this switch table, they'll be able to see again, if they use this Merck product, they should try this Elanco product or this Seva product or this Mariel product, because we have deals with Elanco, Seva, and Mariel, but not Merck. So once again, we're trying to funnel our members to use the vendor partners we do have and steer them away from the ones we don't. All right, and I just wanted to show you actually a few other features on our home page I did not show you before. So we do have a button called Member Requirements. The main goal of our Member Requirement button is not to punish those who do not fulfill all the member requirements to the fullest, but try to get our members to be as participating as possible. So we let them know to use as many vendors as possible, come to our annual meeting in person or virtually, watch or participate in 4 webinars a year, answer our yearly survey, and we actually have this survey on a quarterly basis, and when members fill out this quarterly survey, they get the benchmark results back, and so that can be really helpful. So we have a lot of members who fill out this survey 4 times a year, even though they're required only once. And then read your TBC emails. So, of course, we want them to keep up to date with what's been going on. All right, and one other nice feature in the veterinary industry that TBC has is we have a nonprofit connected to TBC where we're able to allow our members to reach out to this rescue animal fund for a grant to help with any rescue animals that they're having trouble paying for. So just another nice feature. I think when you have these additional features rather than just the rebates and discounts, it really makes the members feel like you care for them and you are a one-stop shop and a huge resource they should always look to when in need of something. So that is the gist of our vendor pages here. So I am going to go back to the slideshow. All right. So the next thing I wanted to show you was this private website is linked to our database. And the only people who have access to our database are TBC employees. But it's extremely easy to use, and I wanted to show you how that works as well, so you can see how they're connected and how easy it is to use. So let me maximize this. Just to give you a quick tour, this is our fake member TBC account. You can look up and see all of the, oh, I gotta log in first here, sorry about that. So you can see all of the different vendors that TBC is signed up for. You can see when they made these purchases, how much they spent with each vendor. We have another page that breaks down all the rebates that they were ever owed as well. You can also see, any locations that they have listed, any personnel they have listed. So it's just a really great tool for us to keep in communication. We have follow-up dates, and you can assign a rep's name to follow up. So again, just wonderful resources that we've found to be a really helpful tool. And throughout the last 5 years, we've been building up this database, and we've been building up the website to be what it is today. And we're continuing to add to it all the time with our new ideas. So over here, if we come to this management tab and we click web, we're able to manage our vendor partners. So I thought it would be fun to show you how to create one of those vendor pages you see up on the website that I just showed you, like the Bayer one. So all you do is create new. I'm going to say test for the rebate or discount offer we're giving. Let's say a test 10%, promotional description, testing 1, 2, 3 keywords. You could even put in, NCBA, Allison Morris. And what these do, these are the search terms. So when somebody goes to search now on the website for NCBA, this vendor would come up. You can also, those banners I showed you with the promotions, this is how you link them to the different pages. So you can link them to the home page, you can link them to the rebates and discounts page, the promo page. And I'm going to show you this TBC connection page in just a minute. Basically, one of our vendor partners has been helping us sell the cooperative like crazy recently. So we've created this page where we can show them all the relevant vendor promotions that pertain to their distributor to help the sales reps know what's going on. So I'm going to just call this vendor name NCBA webinar test. And we always like to upload a logo of the vendor partner. So I'm going to pick this logo that I made before this webinar today, and we like to have a rebate or discount detailer up there. For purchase information, I'm just going to put in testing for now. And then if we had a promotion, we could put it in this banner section. And I made a fake promo right here. You can add more information, you can add videos, whatever you'd like. It's that easy. And then you click save. And now when I look up NCBA webinar, here's our vendor. It's still in draft mode, so it's not published on the website. But if we wanted to see what it would look like on the website, we click this view so we can make sure it looks good. And here it is. That's all it takes to make one of these pages. So any one of our employees can do this. It's great. It saves us a ton of time rather than having to funnel it all through one person describing the exact changes we needed made. You click the see the rebate or discount. You have whatever PDF you created for this space. So it's super easy. I hope you feel the same. And let me just make sure I covered everything there. All right, so now I'd like to show you the Patterson connection page I discussed, which is this link right here. So this is Patterson Veterinary, a huge distributor in the veterinary industry. They're one of 3 major ones. They're our distributor. They're our main distributor partner. So all of these vendors can be purchased through Patterson, and we have direct programs with all of these vendors listed here. So we like to funnel these as a resource for the Patterson representatives. So when they walk into a clinic, they can be informed of some extra promotions they're able to offer through Patterson. We also have some detailers for the Patterson sales reps so they can learn more about TVC, FAQs, things like that. All right, so let me get back here. So that wraps up the main portion of this. I just wanted to also let you all know that this database and this website, like I said, was designed by TVC for our use, but we're more than happy to share this intellectual property with you and your co-op if it looks like something that would be helpful. If there's not much you want to change on it, really just changing logos and labels, it would only cost likely a few grand to take it on. So if you do want to look into taking on this software for your hospital, please feel free to reach out to me. This is my contact information. Call or email me. I'd be more than happy to talk to you more about it. And that wraps up the main portion of my presentation today. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions the group has.
Thanks for that, Allison. That's amazing. Yeah, I always talk with Rich and hear Rich speak about, Rich, of course, is the CEO of TVC. I always hear him talk about all the things you're doing, and it's clear it's only a fraction of what you guys have going on, and all this sort of illuminated why you guys have been so successful. So I really appreciate this and for helping illuminate the sort of even fuller picture of everything. I'd like to open it up for questions. If I don't see any roll in here in the immediate time, I have a few. One of them you actually answered. It was more along the lines of if there was a way for you guys to share sort of your expertise or even just the platform that you're using. So that's awesome that you're willing to do that. I guess my first question is really, the website and the database seem very connected. So who's the staff person, and what is the expertise that they need to kind of be able to manage something like that? I think some co-ops, everybody wears specific hats. Others wear many hats. So who would be like the best person to sort of be able to take all that information that you just showed us on the website and the database and distill it down and make it useful for the members?
In terms of us, like a staff member talking to the member about it, or
well, just like who's going to make that, who's going to make all that information useful to the membership? Because some folks are, like, is it a marketing person? Is it is it an accounting person? Like who's sort of the best person to kind of keep track of all that info? Because not everybody has those specific sort of departments.
Yeah.
So
Well, I hope I'm answering your question in the way you meant, but certainly let me know if I'm not answering it correctly. But different people at TVC take ownership of the website or database in different ways. So, for example, we do have a financial manager. Let me pull that back up here if I can get to it. We do have a financial manager who uploads all of the data that you see in this section here. In this section here. So she's in charge of uploading all the rebates and discounts and member numbers to make sure it's all correct, and that's a job within itself. So that's her genre. In terms of making sure all of these rebates and discounts pages are uploaded on the website, we've split that between probably 4 to 5 staff members. So each staff member has a few accounts that they take care of, and they're in charge of uploading that information in that way and creating the marketing for it. We have one marketing manager who keeps track of the calendar to make sure nobody is creating big promotions or webinars or anything like that at the same time. But beyond that, it is split up between the employee base, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's more or less what I was curious about, because again, some folks don't have maybe the bandwidth to have somebody specific focused on those things. So I think it's all a matter of who can handle what. So a question came in, says, thanks, Allison, very impressive. one question, what is the membership share price a member would pay to join TVC, and do your members pay any annual dues?
Those are great questions. So TVC has done the shareholder prices in a way where they do pay in to join TVC, but they have $0 as a stockholder. So for example, and the price they pay in to join initially does depend on how they heard about us. So for example, the Patterson distributor partner that I've talked a lot about today, we've given them the ability to sign up any clinics they work with for just $1, and that's a one-time lifetime fee. Now, if they ever decide to quit TVC, they are not getting that $1 back, and they know that. We advertise TVC as a one-time lifetime fee of $1,000 to join. To be honest, that is marketing. We've never had anyone join for that price. The most I think we've ever charged is $500. That way we're able to market it as a deal, a promo. But most of the time, people are joining anywhere from that $1 promotional fee to around $100, $200. And there's no annual fees or no monthly fees. So it's just that one time, and they don't get that money back. Yep.
Cool. Another question. How are you finding that members are using the Hive the most?
That is a great question. I wish I had a little bit better of an answer for you. I'm not the one who's managing the Hive, but I think question of the week certainly has gotten the most responses over time. However, once we had a vendor that kind of is a hot topic in the industry. So when we brought them on, some people were fired up good about it, and some people were fired up in a negative way about it. And I believe that is under this TVC vendors portion here. So it was a great outlet for our members to voice their concerns to each other, but then also there were people on there voicing why it made sense that we did take them on. So we kind of let them talk to each other. A lot of people certainly came at TVC as well to voice their opinion, but this was an outlet we gave them so they could hear from other doctors about why it actually, in their opinion, was good medicine and not bad medicine. So it's been really helpful for that aspect as well. Also, as I said recently, we created a few new topics that members had requested, like job postings, mobile veterinarians, trying to create subgroups in a place those subgroups can easily chat with each other. So it hasn't quite taken off at the level I'd hope, but it's still new as well. So hopefully we'll see that increase.
Great. Another question was, what is the purpose of opt-in again? The person listening wasn't sure that they quite followed the opt-in part of that.
So most of, I'll go back to that screen here too. Most of our opt-in vendors, so some of our vendors are able to sign up the clinics on their program automatically when they join the cooperative. Once a month, we send those vendor partners a list of our new members, and they'll just go ahead and mark them in their system and sign them up and make sure they get tracked properly for rebates or discounts. However, some of our vendor partners don't want to do that. They want the member to take the initiative. So in that case, for example, for Hills Pet Food, Hills would like the member to enter their account number. And once Hills receives that account number, they'll be able to match it in their system and start tracking them for rebates. So that is not the case with all vendors listed here. Some of them, TVC finds it helpful to collect their vendor number, or excuse me, their account number with that vendor for our own purposes of making sure people are set up properly, because when you leave it to the vendor sometimes to track the member on their own, if we have a hospital who entered their legal name of their hospital versus their doing business as name, sometimes they'll get left out. So this is a good backup as well to make sure that our vendors don't miss out on being tracked by our key vendors. We also find it a good way for our members to get involved right off the bat. Sometimes they think it's a little annoying. They think once you sign, the dotted line, I'm a TVC member, you don't have to do anything, which unfortunately isn't the case. They have to do a little bit of work investigating the website like I showed you today, but we feel like this is one way they can understand it takes a little bit involvement to get on board, but they only have to do this the one time.
Sure. So more of a question about, all this whole this topic of membership is tied to a larger topic of growing your co-op, and an engaged membership is going to help any co-op grow. So the programs that you've outlined here today, they seem very tied to marketing and being able to communicate the message of the co-op and the value of the co-op. Was this something that was part of the original design as you put TVC together, that it was going to be very marketing heavy in that sense, or is it something that you realized that this particular group of members, that's what they responded to, was this type of approach? So I guess it's a question of intentionality. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one reason why we're super marketing based is because our CEO has a lot of education in marketing, has taught graduate school classes on marketing. So part of that was the vision of our CEO, because that is where his strengths lie. But I think over time, it moved in this direction. I mean, in the beginning of TVC, when we just had a handful of vendors and a handful of members, we would let the members know about our programs by inviting them to like a cloud-based sharing file folder system. So, they weren't getting these weekly emails. They weren't able to pop up on the website and see the promotions or different vendors we have. It was literally a file folder system they download onto their computer. So it certainly has developed over time into what it is today, and it did not start that way.
Gotcha. Good insight. So we have a purchasing and a data question. How is the purchasing data collected on your end? Are the members sending you the data on a rolling basis, and then your staff enters it into the database, or is there some other method?
Our vendors are the ones who give us the information to upload into our database. We collect that information from our vendors generally on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis, depending on how large a vendor they are and how many purchases are made through them, on an ongoing basis. So our financial manager will upload all that information as she gets those reports from each of our vendors. And honestly, that's kind of her full-time job, just managing getting those reports and making sure that they are correct and that they upload properly so that all of the rebates that are owed to members are correct.
Got it. Hopefully that answers the person's question there. If there's no other questions, I just have sort of a final one to throw out to you. What in your experience, so to back up a little bit, again, you guys are doing a ton of different things, and it all seems to be working really well together. What in your experience is really keeping people from doing all those types of things that TVC does to recruit, retain, engage, delight, etc., their members? Engagement, it's a difficult thing, but it seems it's baked into the culture of TVC. What are the major hurdles that you think other co-ops are probably running into and not being able to do all this stuff?
Honestly, it takes a lot of time, brainstorming, money to develop each of these items, and especially as TVC grows in our membership, it's hard to have focus in our vendor acquisition or our vendor promotion. So I think as you constantly grow, it's just a balance of what you're putting your time into. And we always like to take a moment to focus on working on our business rather than just in the business all the time, because that allows us to create systems to help us out, to make things easier, even though we've been so busy overall, taking those few hours out of the week to make these developments help us in the long run, even if you might not get one task done, that you really needed to during those few hours and you have to work a little bit later that day. So I think you really have to carve out that time to work on your business, because overall you're gonna benefit from it. And man, if we were still using that file folder system today, there's no way we would be where we are.
Right. Yeah, leaps and bounds. It's amazing. You guys have done a lot in the last couple of years, a few short years. So, Allison, thank you. It doesn't look like there's any more questions, but thank you for preparing this session for us today. And it's clear there's a lot of work that went into it. For everybody that's listening, this webinar has been recorded, and you will be receiving a link, as I mentioned, tomorrow in a follow-up email. For anyone that's looking for more information about the Co-op Impact Conference, you can, of course, visit our website, www.ncba.coop, or you feel free to contact us at info@ncba.coop. If you're not already subscribed to the Co-op Weekly, it's an e-newsletter, comes out every Tuesday. You can do that now. And definitely be on the look for more webinars this year related to marketing the Co-op Advantage, succession planning, technology, and as I mentioned, some of the other topics that are of pressing concern. So again, Allison, it's been my pleasure today to listen to all this, and thank you for your time. Thank you to our audience for their attention. And if there's nothing else, thanks again. Have a great day, and Allison, I can follow up with you offline about a quick recap.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you everyone for this opportunity.
You got it. We'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks.